And rising to you, my dear. How are you?
You know when you don't get a good night's sleep, Sharky
Oh,
DJ?
oh yes. I don't know who to blame. Who
I
was to
don't know
blame for
who
that?
to blame. I don't
No.
know who's to blame. I don't know. But anyway, good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's Monday. It's the 10th. It's the 10th of February. We are moving swiftly in through the months completely. And I want to know, the other week I spoke about being good to people, being nice to people. And I put up my chart for February in which we said that we were going to try and practice something along this chart every day. And I just wonder who's done that, who's thought about being nice to people. But we'll talk about that in a second. First of all, I want to get my hellos out of the way now. We'll have a quick talk about this actually, because the one thing over the past couple of years, the amount of people I've gotten to know has been phenomenal. Over on Mixcloud, going out or just being involved in certain events, I have got to know a plethora of people, and I always can't remember everybody. And what happens is that I'll be in a conversation with somebody. Somebody might come and say hello, and my attention is somewhere else, and invariably I have not said hello to people or looked like I have ignored people. Sharky's been a test to that. He's had people come up, HPQ just ignored me, and Sharky's like, no, she's not. And the one big shout out I have to give is to Susie Cruz. She's on my Mixcloud at the moment. And Susie came up to me on Saturday and said, have I done something wrong, HPQ? Because every time I see you, you never say hello to me. It's like you ignore me. And I'm like, my heart just went because I thought that's never my intention. I love you, Susie Cruz. I love everybody. And if I have done, please, please forgive me. If anybody sees me doing that, slap me across the back of the head and say, HBQ, I said hello, you've been ignoring me. And you'll see me give you a big hug and a big smile and tell you it is not intentional. Please, please forgive me. I love all of you guys massively. So it's a work in progress for myself to ensure that when I go out, I'm going to make sure that I see as many people as I can, remember as many people as I can, and say hello to everybody, because you always take the time to say hello to me. So please, my apologies to everybody. And on that note, I just want to say big hi to everybody that I saw as well. Jack's happy, Spice Nice, Susie Cruz, of course. Scan Stress,
AJ.
good morning. I haven't seen you in ages, my darling, on the stream. Dee Dee, I'm not quite sure who Dee Dee is. And of course, the wonderful
Dee
Wolf
Dee.
Michael.
I'll
Yes.
tell you who Dee Dee is. Dee Dee is the guy who came up and I said, that's Dee Dee. And he was like, can't remember. I said, that's Dee Dee on Mixcloud.
Oh, yes,
Biggish
yes, yes.
guy.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, you did. You did. Thank you.
Hmm.
Hello, Dee Dee. And Wolf Michael Pfister, my big
We
fan
didn't
there.
see
Hello,
Wolf
my
Michael
darling.
on Saturday, did we?
No, I'm saying hello to him on my
No, I'm saying we
Mixcloud.
didn't see him.
No, we didn't. Would
I'm
love
just
to see
having,
you over here,
just
though. Where are you from the UK or are you from?
no, he's from, I think he's
Sounds
Germany or
like
something like that.
Germany.
Yeah.
Sounds like a German name or an Austrian name, something like that. So let us know, Wolf Michael, just to check. But you must come over one day. We'll invite you to one of the parties. You'll be guest of honor, I think, definitely. And I've not even got Sharky's Mixcloud up, so I can't say hello to everybody on there. But hello, I'll come back to you guys shortly. Now, I was talking about being nice to people, and sometimes we forget that. I see so many things on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook, my sisterhood posting them. We should be supporting our sisters. We should be nice to our sisters. We should be nice to people on social media. And Vibes Cartel is out. He has his fiancée, Sidem, who is originally from South London. She was a social worker. She started writing to Vibes Cartel in prison. She was a big fan of his beforehand. When she heard he was in prison, she started writing to him. They struck up a friendship. She stood by him. She even moved to Jamaica to be near him. Vibes Cartel put her up in the house and looked after her. She's been with him since. Now, she doesn't look like one of these ladies that's after money. She hasn't been in it for fame and fortune. You haven't seen her all over every magazine with her legs of Kim and wearing a pink wig or breasts out, wearing some sort of see-through outfit that the whole of the internet's going to shut down. She is just a nice girl, you put it that way. Let's hope so, anyway. And she went to the Grammys, and she wore a dress, and she got vilified. Absolutely. What I saw on social media, on Facebook, I saw one person post about she couldn't make a little effort, fix up the fringe, wear a bra, her breasts them hang low, all of these kind of things. And I just thought, where are we in this world? We tear down women that don't wear any clothes, such as Bianca Sensori. We tore her down because she didn't wear anything, right? We tear up the likes of all the others that have cleavage showing, or the women that dance on videos with just like a little bikini on. You know, you can't have enough clothes on or off. It just doesn't work for people. But this young lady, then this is what she wore. This is Sidem. Now, admittedly, it's understated. It's not anything like with buckles and belts and pins. It hasn't got a thigh defying split. She hasn't got red hair extensions in. She hasn't got an amount of Botox or plastic surgery or plumped up lips or surgically enhanced breasts. She is just Sidem. She came in a black dress, her shoes, and that's her. And because of that, nah, weren't good enough. It's not good enough for us sisterhood. We got to tear them down. No, it's not good enough. She could have done this. She could have done that. What do you think, Sharky? Do you think that she deserved to get vilified for wearing a simple black dress?
No, I like simple, and I think there's a lot of false people around. When they get to a certain level, it's like, well, I've got to outdo this one or put on something like Versace or whatever. Do you know what? As long as it looks good and she came out how she felt, and good on her. Yeah, if that's how she, and I hope she stays that way. But unfortunately, when people get pressured like this, you do see them start enhancing themselves and that. And she's not used to fame. There's a
No.
difference when you get into that world. It becomes, well, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. Be yourself, and let's hope
Yep.
she stays herself.
And if you've watched any of her interviews or where she's kind of been around Vibes Cartel, she's very quiet. She's camera shy almost. And she had her sister come along, and her sister was even more like really a giggly young teenager, looked just like her. But she looks like a lovely woman. And let's hope that social media is kind to her
Put a picture
because,
up again, just quickly.
yeah,
For
sure,
those of
I'll
you
put
on
it up.
radio, we're just having a look at this picture with Five Cuz. Well, if you just look at even at her body language, the way that she's looking, feet and everything, it just goes to show
That
that
she's
she's
not
not
camera,
used to.
she's not camera ready, is she? She's not
No,
used to
she's
it.
not.
And when we mean camera ready, we mean, when you've got your legs crossed and you've got that
Mm.
pose that slims down your hips, you got your face, you got your pout, and I love the fact that she is herself. She is authentic. That's the word I'm
Mm.
looking for. And authenticity is something that we don't have right now. We've got everybody with fake all sorts. The lips get me. I can't take the lips. Every time someone's talking to me with plumped up lips, I'm just looking at the lips. I mean, imagine when we used to get caricatures of black people with these big red lips, and now
Mm.
look what's happening.
Yeah.
They used to
Got
do.
some.
They used to put black people in circuses for the size, or Africans for the size of their backside. There was an infamous black lady that was in a circus. I can't remember her name. Someone have to find it for me. And now they're getting these surgically enhanced backsides and hips out of all proportions. I showed you little Kim last week with hers, and she's a black
Mm.
woman, and we've got natural curves. Some of us. Some of us. But Eileen Smith, good morning. Stephen Henry, good morning. Verona, Miss Sugar Sweet, Delight. Oh, happy birthday, Delight.
Happy belated
Happy
birthday.
belated birthday. Kimmy Kim, First Lady, Laurie, Donald. Good to see you all. Miscellaneous. Maureen as well. Oh my gosh, we've got loads. Kelsa P. And everybody else who I've forgotten. Good morning to you all.
Right,
But
some comments there in the
yes.
chat room.
Yeah,
Delight says, go on.
we'll look back. Verona says, I've been watching her and him. She's been very good to him. Oh, sorry. Hey, Delight says, HPQ, you were extremely nice to me on Saturday that I was overwhelmed. Listen, I'll
Does
come
that
back to
normally
this.
mean that
Hold
she's
on.
not nice?
Well, it's to do with a dress, actually, if we're talking about dresses. Now, I pay a compliment where a compliment's due. And I also pay compliments because I want women to feel good about themselves. I will not criticize women. I just don't want to do that anymore. And I feel that, some women don't have the confidence to believe in themselves, and I'm not going to depower them. That's not my job. So I will always make someone feel good. And if they do look good, I'm not going to say you look good just for the sake of it. It means I believe you look good, whether anybody else does or not. But Delight, now, I'm sorry to out you like this, Delight, but Delight doesn't always wear dresses, right? Delight came out for her birthday and she wore this absolutely beautiful dress that just complimented her. She had her hair done. I'm going to try and find the picture. Sorry, Delight. I'm going to flash you up on screen. I don't know if I've got a picture of your dress, but I certainly got a wonderful picture of you. And she just looked delightful, you could say. Stunning. And it overwhelmed me. So I love to see my sisters, could do that change, switch up and say, yes, see me here. And that's exactly what Delight did. She's a beautiful lady anyway. No amount of makeup, dresses or hair done can make anybody more beautiful. Just enhances what you've got already. So Delight, shout out
Yeah.
to you. Shout out to you, Susie Cruz, and you, Jack's Happy, and anybody else who doesn't sometimes feel that level of confidence. You are beautiful and you are all very dear to me.
Oh, no, no, no. You know what? You don't have to always look top when you go out. And when you go to the Grammys, who wants to put on those expensive things in it? Get something out of Primark, I'll say, and make a statement.
Like we're ever going to get invited to the Grammys. You know what I mean? To be like, you got to turn up, you got to wear this, you got to wear that. You know what I mean? We're so so, I don't know, fixated on how we look as opposed to how we are. You know, if we acted more than on how we can be as a better person, how we can be better people as opposed to better dresses, we might be somewhere else in this world. And that's what we need to do. We're so fixated as black people sometimes, how we look, how it's matching. You ever go to Jamaica and not see a matching top and trainers? It's unheard of. Right, the trainers have got to match the top, got to match the purse. I see people come with 2 cases for 10 days in Jamaica. I got sport, man. I can't go like this. I got to be sporting. So you'll use up all your money on just your outfits rather than just having a good time or what car you're driving over there. Listen, we got it all wrong. We've just got it wrong. We need to be like the Indians, man. Pile everybody up in a house, right? Share the load, and then buy 3 houses together. Knock them all together. Live like one big family. Everyone's pooling in, making dinner. No one's paying separately £200 a week to feed people. No, we got to get it. We got to get it right. We haven't got it right at all. We haven't got it right at all. But coming back to Delight now, I haven't got a picture of her dress, but what I do have, Delight. Sorry, Delight. What I do have,
blown up this morning.
she needs to blow up. It's her birthday. It's birthday week. We'll do that for people. It's her birthday. We'll make a little special occasion out of it. And I wish I'd got all my birthday bits on. But next time we'll do that. Work in progress. But Delight also likes to dabble in a little bit of salsa, doesn't she, SharkyDJ? And SharkyDJ obviously obliges like he does. Likes to give everyone a dance. And this is Watch Delight be delightful.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out for
All right, I'm not going to play the whole lot because I see Delight saying, "Oh no." Well, you know what it's like, and Miscellaneous will attest to this. If you send me a video, make sure you don't want it to go on social media, or if you're in my video, blank your face out or come out when you see me with the camera because it's going to go on social media. That's why I take pictures. I don't do videos just to keep them and watch them at night. No, I want everybody else to see what I experience. So, sorry, Delight. Sorry, Miscellaneous, right? Ban my cameras from within your presence. That's what you need to do. But anyway, moving on to another subject. Now, I've got to talk about this because Stephen Henry says, "Are that you, D? Beautiful. Beautiful to watch, Delight. Dress was beautiful." Delight says, "I need a refresher course on salsa." Don't worry, Sharky always gets me on salsa and I trip up, step back, forward, knock him into him. It's a work in progress. Doesn't matter. No one's expecting you to get it right. I'm not one of these. We're not Strictly Come Dancers, all right? We're just Delight and HPQ trying to ting. But I got to bring you to something. Now, in the news, I was reading this morning about coffee badging. Is this the new approach to office life working, where people are just merely going in and doing the basics, drink coffee all day, chat with friends, do the basics, leave work early, and that's them accounting for their time? Now, I was angry last week, wasn't I, Sharky? I phoned you up in a huff.
Oh gosh. I was saying, let it go. She was like, no.
Let it go, let it go,
I was
let it go.
just let it go. She was like, no.
Vex, you see, I'm still vexed. Right, this vexation is carrying on into this week. Everyone's going to know that I am not happy, and we're gonna have to have words about it because I've got to get it off my chest.
Anybody who
But-
knows me, tell me I can be a little bit of a sergeant major when I'm teaching salsa. All right, but it's only because I just want you guys to be good. That's the only reason why. And you know, I think get those basics and grounding in to make you all lovely dancers. HPQ.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm hoping I'm okay. I noticed my computer's been a bit shaky. I've deleted all my files. I've rebooted. So if it does happen, it must be my internet's just playing up and where I am and get that looked into. But just before I left, I was talking about how angry I was last week. Now, work has mandated everyone to come back into the office, right? I've been mandated to come in 3 days a week. My boss can't make up her mind what she wants. Oh, we'll just do 2 days, it'll be fine. Oh, no, Vincent said we have to do 3. Oh, no, we'll do 2. I'm just coming in for 3 and seeing how it goes. But I've come in now on Thursday. I mean, on
Push your
Thursday.
mic down to your mouth a bit more.
I mean, on Thursday, I'm at my desk, I'm doing my work and everything. And obviously, you get up, we can't eat at our desks. It's a brand new office, and they've stopped us. No biscuits, no grapes, no nuts, no nothing. You cannot eat at your desk whatsoever, nothing. You have to go to a fresh air. In fact, you have to go to the second floor into what they call the refresh area, sit down and have it. Now, if you want to go for a snack, they're saying you can take your laptop up there and do a bit of work if you want to. But my laptop Wi-Fi doesn't quite reach up there. It don't work, so I can't even do that. Right, so if I want some grapes, I'm going upstairs to have it. Now, invariably, when you're in the office, you talk to people. People stop you. Hi, how you doing? What's going on? What's been happening? So to get back to your desk could take a good 20 minutes, depending on who you've stopped and spoken to, even getting a cup of tea. So my boss pulls me up at the end of the day, like, yeah, I want to chat about a few things, you know, the report that was there, you know, it wasn't quite right. Well, that's because I wasn't at the last meeting. I didn't take the actions. That was him, sir. He didn't put it on there. Oh, yeah. And then she goes, yeah, and also, you know, there's people have been said that, you know, you're away from your desk a lot, right? And that you was in the office on your mobile. Is everything okay? And you know me already, I can't hide things. Kind of cocked my head to the side and went, are you serious? I said, first of all, I'm in the office on a mobile phone because I don't want to have my conversation in the office. I have an elderly father. I've got caring work that I have to do. And if they call me, it's important. I have to take it. So I've gone into the office for privacy. If that conversation took 10 minutes, is that a problem? What about all the people that take cigarette breaks? And as for me being away from my desk, we've been told we can't eat. So if I have to go upstairs and eat a grape, that's what I have to do. You know, my Wi-Fi doesn't work upstairs, and people are going to stop me for conversations. So, yeah. And, oh, yes, sorry, you know, it's just that it was noticeable. Well, I'm black, of course it's noticeable. Didn't say that, of course, but I felt like saying that. But, yeah, I wasn't too happy. She knew I weren't happy, and I weren't happy the next day. And I'm not going to be happy on Wednesday when I go in either. So, you know, I'm going to have to get it off my chest with her, I think. Do you think she was right in saying that? They're saying that we were mandated to come back to the office so that we could collaborate. Collaborate is that big word that's been used in the news and all over letters that CEOs have been sending their employees. Now we go and collaborate. They don't want us to collaborate. I'm not here to be stuck at my desk 24/7, nor is anybody else. And I don't see anybody else stuck to their desk 24/7. So that won't be me either. Hell to the no, to the fire. No. No.
Yeah, she was just micromanaging, isn't it? I think if she pulls everybody up like that, then fair enough. But if it's only you that she's pulled up and other people are going as well, then there'd be an issue. I had a little bit of an issue like that at work as well. Very, very similar.
Well, let me give you the joke. So the only other person that reported into her was another black woman. And she got that black woman disciplined, and she had to haul and pull back because what she tried to do, this young lady was hired during the pandemic, and she was actually on a work from home contract, full work from home contract. But my boss didn't actually realise that and was telling her she needs to come into the office and put her on disciplinaries. And when HR looked into it, they had to back off because she had a full work from home contract and they couldn't touch her. And then she was saying, well, you should come into the office sometimes because, you know, you need to be seen here. And she's just like, no, I don't.
No.
I'll come in.
I don't. I've got a work from home contract. That's exactly
I'll
it.
come in when I feel like it. So, yeah, she did try to put her on a disciplinary. She was trying to micromanage her and put her on, like, I don't know, work schedules that just weren't feasible. Now she's got a new manager. Had a little chat with her. The new manager's like, I don't want to know about the past. I just want to know about now. But you know what happens when you are bullied at work like that? Your
Yeah.
confidence goes. That's what's happened to me. Your confidence goes. You suddenly think, I can't do this. And then you start to make mistakes because you have no
Yeah.
confidence. And then those mistakes get picked on. So I
Yeah.
understand what's happening to the young lady. And that certainly is not going to happen with me. Hell to the no to the fire. It's not happening with me. And I'm going to make it clear, very clear, that it's not. I'm not afraid to lose my job. There's another job out there. Right?
Yeah, there's always other jobs.
There's God's got his plan for me, period, and there's nothing I can do if that plan's set in motion. And if that plan is for me to make sure that my work life suits me and my mental health, then
Yeah.
so be it. But no one is going to disturb my mental health like Bank of America and Barclays did. I'm not going back to that. Calling you out, Bank of America and Barclays nearly ruined me. Over
Some
to you,
people do
Sharky
have
DJ.
that power, isn't it? Some people
do.
have that power. What time is
Oh gosh, I've come back to all sorts of people talking about office
it?
things.
We're talking about bullying in the workplace.
Oh,
There, yeah?
it
I was reading
it
out some
does
of the
go on.
comments there. There's a lot of it.
Roy F on my channel says, I used to go in once every 3 months. If they wanted me in early, they had to pay overtime. You got it on lockdown, Roy. That's how you do it. That's how you tell him. You hold him to account. You want me in, you're going to have to pay me to come in. Scanstress says, yes, Sharky DJ, kill them with kindness every time. Yes, I was a victim of bullying. I could have gone for constructive dismissal with Bank of America and Barclays. I should have done, and I didn't, which is why I don't deal with it too nicely anymore. I actually came out of banking because of that, because of those two experiences in fast-paced environments. Barclays was by far the worst. I mean, I worked trading floor, and that weren't as bad as what I got in Barclays and Bank of America. Stepped away from banking, came back into it, went into HSBC, and went, whoa, I'm out again, right? During COVID, and then stepped out, went into public sector, which don't pay too well, don't pay too well. Pension's good, but don't pay too well. But was contracting, and now I'm back in banking again, in the back office, in IT, but it's still brutal, it's still ruthless. And women probably, sorry Melly Mel, you probably aren't, and my friend Faye is a woman manager, but there are some out there that are just despicable. Some women should not be managers. They're amongst the worst to work for, I think. They tend to be the micromanagers. And that's only because us women are used to being in control, especially if we've got family and kids and are the head of the households. It transitions into work. So I understand the mentality there. I'm not killing us women or putting us down, but sometimes what we do during the day or our home life can transcend into the work life. So I get that. But yeah, my boss is a micromanager. She's also a little bit kiss-arsey. Yeah. None of my work people are on my Mixcloud or Facebook or social media. I won't allow it. They don't even know I'm known as HPQ. They're not going to find me.
This manager that I had, right? I mean, it was a running joke with the guys because I worked in the travel industry with trains, like the underground trains. So we had to go in the depot. This manager, right, actually was hiding in the security office watching the videos, and she was caught. So we always just take the mickey and say, is she hiding? Couldn't believe it. Like at the end of the day, this person was hiding, trying to catch me out. That's how bad she was. I could not believe it. Oh my gosh! I went through some stress. You didn't know me at that time, HPQ, but I went through some stress. That's one of the reasons I left early.
Yeah.
Retired early. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm not afraid to retire. If I lose my job now, I'm a qualified foster carer. I want to go back to uni and study, so I could quite easily give up work. Give me an excuse. Just give me any excuse, and I will do it. God damn it, I will do it. But talking about something different now. Let's get something a bit more happy on the airwaves. Now, we've been talking about black people and how we are. One thing about black people that we do, right, is that we laugh. And we laugh hard, right? We don't do simple laughs. Anybody know any black person that just...
Yeah, I do.
We got certain styles that do you agree with these styles that we do as black people? One of us could attest to one of these styles, all right? Let me know if this is exactly how we are.
You know what? For those of you on radio that are listening, there's just different styles of laughing, like the running away from each other, slapping each other, the quiet laugh. Yeah, but I agree. Yeah,
I've done the running away. You find something so funny, you got
the
to run
running
away from
away. You run
everybody,
away from each
or you
other.
hit them.
Yeah, or
I
you
don't know
slap each other. Yeah, guilty of that one, definitely.
what is that about. Or we go to. I hope this is the right video. We go to another extreme.
Of course she asked me to order.
That was funny.
I have seen some people carry on. My brother's friends, right, used to be that way. If something was funny, we'd be in the middle of a restaurant, and Addy had the biggest raucous laugh. He would run up and down, slap people on the back, bang the table, all of that. But why are we like that? Why do we have to be so, I don't know,
I used to be a
so
bit
elaborate
exaggerated
in our
like that,
behaviour?
yeah. Slamming the table and like laughing and falling over. Oh dear. There's some comments. Do you want to read them out in the chat there? Let's go on from Kimmy Kim.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just getting my chat back up. Kimmy Kim said, one man at work tried to raise his voice at a team meeting. Boy, did I feel like Oprah in Colour Purple. I wanted to give him a big fist, a punch that looks like. But I came back to my senses and I just told them, don't shout at me. I'm not your wife. So check yourself. Then my managers tried to draw for mediation. I told it's not going to work, so we don't to each other. Oh, he was a different nationality from me. He must have said to himself he'll never raise his voice at a black woman again. And that's exactly how you do it. You tell them one time, don't mess with me. I'm not the one. I'm just not,
I'm not
the
the
one. I'm not the one. That's all you got to tell them. In fact, you might not even need those words. I am not the one. You know, when you're talking to your kids and you give them that eye, like, don't mess with me, all that get upstairs, get to your bed in one sentence without saying all of those words. That's exactly what you do, people. You tell them, you don't put up with this nonsense anymore.
Melly
No.
Mel says, that's definitely us. Oh, then it's moving up. Lots of my mum used to laugh with that crackling noise we make.
It's true. We all make those sort of noises and crackly noises. And Eileen said, all of those are my sons. Yeah, we got children that just do some madness and run around the place. Even us, ourselves, we do that. But anyway,
I think that's part of the fun, isn't it?
It is. It is part of the fun. But one thing, Jay-Z was back in the news, but not for his rape allegation. He was with his daughters at the Super Bowl with Blue Ivy and Rumi. Now, Blue Ivy is the 13 or 14-year-old that's been at Beyonce's concerts, and Rumi is one of the twin, other half of a twin, 7 years old, I believe. Anybody ever seen Sir, who is the son, the other half? I don't see him. Don't ever see him. A bit like Khloe Kardashian. She always shows off her daughter, True, but you hardly ever see her other son on social media. What is it? Is it just about girls that they have to flash on social media and leave out the boys? I don't know what it is. But, yeah, and it says Beyonce, 43, and Jay-Z rarely ever share pictures of their son on social media or bringing him up. They don't. But they always show the daughters, and I don't understand why. Has he got some kind of facial disfigurement? Has he got some kind of mental health issue that, you know, because he has that, they don't want him on camera because he's not absolutely perfect? Who knows?
Maybe gone, let's have a look and find out. Just do a little bit of research and find out.
Yeah, we'll have to do a little bit of digging on that one to see what's going on. But he's blazingly back, like everything's all right.
Okay.
You know, maybe
Let's
because he
see
hasn't
what
been
I got.
convicted yet. Everyone thinks that Jay-Z still should be invited to the Super Bowl. Just sport and walk around like nothing's going on. Imagine if he is found guilty. Imagine if he did do it and all these people that are courting him now. But then we don't know. So we can't say, don't invite him. We have to wait. We have to wait till we know that he is guilty. Sharky.
Right, one more before we head into the ad breaks. think I get my cup of coffee or something like that.
So, anyway, carrying on with the news while Sharky just fixing some bits and pieces there. Now, I saw on the chat that DJ Rudy said that there was a secret son. Okay, yeah, that's been doing the rounds for the last, what, how many years? 16, 17, 24 years, however old the son is. His name is Rymer Satterwhite. And do you think he looks like Jay-Z? This story was doing its rounds at the end of the beginning of the year that he wanted Jay-Z for a DNA test to confirm the paternity. And Jay-Z's obviously declining, and he's trying to get him court battles to get Jay-Z to submit DNA to see if he is his son. Now, I can understand probably why he's refusing. Could you imagine if you had 24 women saying, I want your DNA to submit to a test to see if you're the father, and someone does something with that DNA, and before you know it, you've got 24 children that you're a father to. But do you think he looks like Jay-Z? Melly Mel says he doesn't look like him.
I think he looks like him.
Do you think he looks like him? I think he does. The nose for sure.
I think there's a
the
resemblance
mouth,
there. Yeah,
the
there's
teeth.
definitely a resemblance. Teeth, face, the mouth. He actually does look like him, actually.
He does.
Very
He
much.
does.
Mm.
I think so. There's a definitive resemblance there between him. Now, all Jay-Z has to do is submit some DNA and it will confirm it, take the case out of courts and everything, but he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to do it.
He knows say Ian Pickney. If he don't want to do it, then he's going to have to take the responsibility. Simple.
Yeah.
Pay up.
So-
And Jay-Z don't like to pay out money.
The worst thing is that it's not like they haven't got any money. Beyonce's about to go and do another tour again. Again. We've got to make sure that we've got a future for each of our kids. They've got to be billionaires before they're 21. And that way we'll be all right. And as I said last week, how much money does one person need in order to live in life? You don't need billions. Why are you accumulating so much wealth when the rest of the world is suffering? And we're sitting there and Trump is saying things like, well, I'm not giving into the US aid anymore because, we're giving away too much money. Give away some of yours. You don't need it all.
He doesn't want to give away. Trump don't want to give away all that money, does he?
He doesn't want to give away any money. And do you know what Trump is? Well, we spoke about it last week, about Trump breaking these diversity efforts and what's happening. Trump has spoken and companies are following suit. So places like Google is joining the big US firms that are abandoning the diversity goals. And Google is the latest firm to scrap its goals to recruit more workers from underrepresented groups. Now, the decision they say to abandon, I'm reading this, the diversity, equity, and inclusion, the DEI, recruitment targets comes after the company carried out an annual review of its corporate policies. And it's also reviewing some of its other DEI programs. Now, since Donald Trump has turned around and said this, they said that they are changing this. But between 2021 and 24, Google's investor report stated its commitment to make diversity, equity, and inclusion, equity. Oh, I can't pronounce this morning. It's too early. And inclusion part of everything we do. Now that line is not in its latest report. From 2021 to 24, it was in there. The George Floyd effect has now officially worn off. It was there just a little bit anyway, right? The companies introduced all these policies just to make us feel better in case, we had a strike or, we started an uprising. Let's please them just a little bit. Let's do this little bit for them. That will please them. And they did that. And we were pleased, weren't we? Because we didn't do anything else, right? But, yeah. At the time, they had set a 5-year goal to increase the number of its leaders who came from underrepresented groups by 30%. Now, according to the company, they said the number of black people in leadership roles almost doubled between 2020 and last year. It said it's also seen the increases of women and Latino people among its leadership. So where's the official stats? Where's them stats? I want to see the stats, man. Only the stats will say. It's easy to turn around and say, yeah, we're recruiting more black people, recruiting more Asians, we're recruiting more women, recruiting more of this. But the reality is there isn't, because what we see on the floor, at the board, there's hardly any black people. BT is another one that has dumped its diversity targets from its structure. And it says it sends the message that these things are optional, temporary, or not worth prioritizing. That's what it's sending the message out loud and clear. Now, in last year's scheme, it did not hit its target to ethnic minority and disability representation or employee engagement for underrepresented groups. Now, as you know, if you go into your workplaces and you go and look at some of the diversity networks, there's either no money, little money, no representation, no update of the intranets. But you go on to the LGBTQ ones, and they're all up there,
Oh gosh,
heavily
finance
populated.
everything.
Listen, they get special days, treats, the whole shebang. Meantime, we're doing what usually happens to us, and we're being put by the sidelines, and happy with that.
Yeah. How
No,
is
I'm
it
not.
that the LGBTQZZ whatever is like, the priority is higher than, why? I'm sorry, I'm just saying. And you know what? Even some of the people themselves are like saying, well, they just want to be normal, but it's almost like this hierarchy of like, well, if you're in this category, you know, you're up and up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
That's what they're doing to us, man. They're
Yeah.
keeping us on the sidelines. We've got to rise, people. We've got to get our own companies set up there. We've got to be teaching our kids the next
Yeah.
step. Please let us teach our kids the next step. And I've got one more video to show before the end of the schedule today. And that's talking about how we do we watch our children enough. But I'll come back to that later in the show. Sharky DJ.
Because it's always like there's going to be this struggle of people back and forward, always. So definitely just need an equality. Doesn't matter, truly. But is there ever going to be a way of proving of who is worthy and who is not of a job? The only way that you can really do that if you have a panel of diversity right across the board of the interview where they can agree on who's going to get the job. That's how I see it working. Because obviously, I don't really like this thing of like getting a job because of what you are or who you are. It should be on what you could do or on what you're able to do. And a diversity panel is what will work. That's what I say. What do you say, HPQ?
Absolutely. I always agree. And diversity panels are needed. As I said to you last week, I don't want
It's the only way it's going to work.
people to be hired as the best of a bad bunch, right?
Yeah.
I want people to be hired on merit, but we have to get a look in through the door.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
again, if it's based on merit or education and you're educated at Eton or Oxford, you're going to be the first through the door always.
Okay.
And not everyone can be afforded that. So we're in a little bit of a conundrum here with these diversity titles. And of course, everyone who's worked hard already are going to have to work even more harder just to get into those positions. So we've gone a step backwards, definitely. I think more work needs to be done, and I think Trump is doing a few good things, but I don't know. I don't know. The jury's out in most cases. But just talking about a heavy subject next is, and this is one of the subjects that touches my heart and causes a lot of controversy, death row.
Yeah.
In some cases, I truly believe the death penalty should exist. There are some heinous people out there that deserve to die. Whether we should be the ones that are judging jury and should have that moral compass to decide on a man's fate or a woman's fate would be difficult. I don't know if I could wake up on Judgment Day and feel good about myself saying I'm sending someone to the chair based on the fact that he committed an offence 40, 50 years ago. The evidence is not clear, based on evidence back in time when DNA and all these other tests couldn't be done. And then, we've all watched The Green Mile, so we know that it can happen, and we all cried a tear when the man died for no reason, but we could understand why he wanted to go. But amongst what happens on death row is that people are entitled to their last meals, and they're allowed to have what they want. It's their last meal, so a lot of people order whatever they want, like steak tartare or caviar or some of the finest dishes to taste and enjoy during the last hours in the world, which I think is a right. But there was a gentleman that was executed recently without having his last meal. Now, whether we feel sorry for them or not, that's not the case here right now. I'm not talking about why he was set to die. I'm just talking about the rights that some people should have. Now, he was handed the death penalty for the killing of a robbery that had gone wrong. He maintains his innocence, as do many people. But he was denied his last rights to a meal because of the actions of a prisoner beforehand. Now, this prisoner beforehand on his last meal had ordered 2 orders of fried chicken steaks, a triple meat bacon cheeseburger, fried okra, a pound of barbecue, 3 fajitas, a meat lover's pizza, a pint of ice cream, a slab of peanut butter fudge crushed with peanuts. And then when he got his meal, he refused to take a single bite, causing all of that expense to be wasted. And so they decided that they weren't going to honour last meals anymore and instead give them a basic meal. Now, whether you believe that's their right or not, it is a human right to be able to eat. Is it a human right to be able to eat a luxurious meal before you die? Is it right to die when there's not enough proof to convict you? Is it right to die on a case of a jury that's all white and you're black? There's so many factors here that make it wrong and right at the same time. But I'll leave that for another conversation to come, maybe later on. But it's a heavy subject and it's a very difficult one. Personally, I wouldn't like to be on the panel of death row and judging what a last prisoner should or should not do. Do you believe in that? Do you believe they should have a last meal, or do you believe that they should just die as they are because they deserve it? That's why they're on death row.
Well, I mean, if, you got rules are rules, right? Doesn't matter what a person's done. Okay, you're going to take away their life. You possibly could be taking away an innocent person's life. Now, if somebody has ordered something and it's cost a couple £100, £300, whatever it is, and they refuse to eat it, that's their...
Oh, your sound just went there. Okay, Sharky will come back to that in a second. I think he was going into a good conversation there, We was enjoying that. But he's having a little bit of trouble this morning. Or you're just pulling out wires, one of the two. But we'll wait for some chat to come in and see what everybody else thinks of that and whether they have an opinion on the fact of whether death row should exist, whether people should be having their last meals or not. Should they? Should they not? I don't know. I don't know. Jury's out in that one. But let's come to a different subject, and we may revisit that before the end of the show there, whilst we wait for Sharky to come back. Now, I often talk about some of the shopping habits that I have. I love ordering on Temu. I love ordering on Shein as much as I love ordering on Amazon, all three, depending on what I want to order. But as you know, people have been up in arms about Temu and Shein in terms of the low-cost products that they're flooding into the American and Europe markets. And people like Amazon and Henny's and the Zara's and all the high street retailers of the world are just saying no, because people are not going to the shops anymore. And in fact, the shopping experience is dead for me. There's hardly anyone on the floor to help you when you want help. There's not your sizes when you want it. And half the clothes have got makeup on them. Now, when you order from these sites, you're not going to get clothes that have been, if they've been tried on and cleaned, then you wouldn't know it. But you don't get all of that. And then you can just send it back, no problem. Not queuing up, not trying to find your receipt. You just go to the shop, stick your QR code on, and off it goes. And you don't have to pay a penny to return. However, I've been watching the news about everyone up in arms about them. And now what they want to do is that they want to put levies on some of these goods that are coming into Europe, which means the price of our goods are going to go up. And environmentalists, I say environmentalists, nationalists and dad's army types will welcome moves in the US and EU to curb cheap imports from China. I don't think it's a good thing that they're curbing. I mean, people are struggling. Rachel Reeves is killing the economy at the moment, and the only things we can hang on to that are cheap are the goods that we're buying from these Chinese places. Now, I suppose we have to think about environmentalism at the same time. I'm reading articles about the amount of plastics that we're consuming in our bodies and that they're finding in our heads and within our bloodstream. Is that coming from some of the plastics in our clothes, that what they contain? How are we consuming all of that? What is going on? I need to find SharkyDJ as well. So, it's a difficult situation. I believe in the freedom of cheap clothing, but if it's going to do issues to the environment, is it a right thing? Is it? Now, should we be responsible for that? Is it because they're mass marketing? It's like the packaging issue. They want us to recycle, but I don't ask Amazon to send items in a great big cardboard box that I now have to fill up my bins with. And then if it's too full, I have to then take it down to the recycling centre myself. I'm going to start lobbying for them to remove all the packaging and all the plastic and the stuffing and everything. And these companies, how much do they pay for sending out so much packaging? How comes they don't have targets and limits on how much packaging they use to send goods out? Surely that should come into the market, right? Surely that should come into it. I believe so. I definitively believe so. Now, coming back to the other subject, I'm seeing some chat in there. Kimmy Kim says, Lady B says, you'll be proving that DEI will kick in when it comes to death row. Kimmy Kim says, dying too easy. I think servicing their time right up to the death is better, I say. Thank you, Kimmy Kim. DJ Rudy says, death row should exist if the people or persons done the deed, if the crimes are proved. I think if that's what you're trying to say. Lady B says, it's amazing that the capitalists are issuing levies on other capitalists. The hypocrisy is real. It certainly is, isn't it? Delight says, Team U has been my new best friends for the last 2 years. Yes, it has. It's done amazing things for my house. And I don't believe that they want to add customs and duty charges and levies onto items coming into the UK in order for us to pay more. Just take away our money even more. Let us just live really below the breadline. We're on the breadline. Let's live below the breadline. How about we do that? Right below the breadline, Sharky. Are you ready, Sharky, or should we run the ads? Are you okay?
No, it's all right. Just carry on talking. Just carry on talking about what
No,
I
I wanted
about.
you to play a track, darling. I want you to play a
I
track.
know you do, but it's not ready yet. You know what I mean? I have to do a full reboot. There's just like something going on with this.
Well, let's run the ads very quickly.
I wonder if Carl Bassett can talk Welsh.
Can speak Welsh, not talk Welsh.
Speak Welsh, talk Welsh.
I don't know. We could ask him. Is he online? Is he online today, Carl Bassett?
Oh, idea.
I'm sure he can speak a little bit of Welsh. Tell us some of those long words and tongue twist us up. I don't know. But anyway, coming back to some news. This is going to be my last bit of news before I have to chip. Remember that word? We've got to go chip.
God, I ain't heard that one for a long time. Got a chip. Yeah.
Got to go and chip.
We're not talking about fish and chips either.
It just reminded me of that, actually. There are some other few words that we used to use back in the day. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. What are the words that we used back in the day that are no longer used now? So we'll bring that back tomorrow. And everyone come with their list. We'll talk about some of them. Tomorrow. I've got a couple, definitely. But chip is definitely one of them.
Words from back in the day.
Yeah, words from back in the day. We'll see how much nostalgia that we can go through and see if our kids can connect with some of the words that we used to use. But anyway, talking about money, we've been on a money tip this morning as well, talking about the cost of living and everything that's going up. Now, I spoke last week saying that the BBC basically is looking to, first of all, it's increasing the licence fee from £169 to £174 this year. Those of you who pay it, well done, right? But it's going to go up another £5, so you're going to see that increase as well as all the other increases that are coming up, like the council tax. I'm going to bring details of that as the council tax results come in and we know what bans and which councils are setting their bans for whatever this year. But in regards to licence fees, as I said, it's going up. The other thing is that the BBC is losing out on revenue because a lot more people are actually switching off. Right? So the BBC now has sent out, and you may have seen one in the post, because I haven't seen a reminder letter for your TV licence for years. They've sent out 41 million licence fee warnings this year. So if you're one of the 41 million, put your hand up, put your hands in your pocket also. Put your right hand up, put your left hand in your pocket and start paying for your licence fee if you pay. Now, they're saying the letters are warning that watching live television without a licence can be punished for up to a fine of £1,000. I want to know how they know you're watching live TV. Now, they only know you're watching live TV if you log into iPlayer. So if you're logged into iPlayer, they'll know that your IP address is connected to your house and they can trace it there and send proof. I know that happened to me once and I switched off, never went back on it again or used somebody else's. Um, and that's the only way that they can track you. Or they can come to your house and knock on your door and ask to come in and see your TV. And you can quite politely or rudely say, no, you're not coming in. They need a warrant to get into your house. And for that, you'd have to be going through multiple letters and multiple evidence of them knowing that you're watching the BBC. Other than that, do not let them in. Now, BBC is seeing falling revenues from the license fee. Okay, it generated more than 3.6 billion in revenue last year. Now, the license generated 30% more income in real terms between 2010 and 2011, but not since then. Now, there were just under 24 million license fee payers in the financial year ending in 2024, a decline of nearly 400,000 from the previous year, when there was 24.4 million. So the license fees, people can't afford it.
No, it's too expensive.
Another, we might think, right, some people that are cash rich, more disposable income, that's what I mean. Not cash rich as though you're rich, but you have the disposable income to afford it. Not everyone does. And £174 is a lot of money to some people. Got four kids in school, food to cook, bills to pay. £174 is another expense that you might not be able to afford. And they know that households are struggling, but yet, yeah, let's raise it up. Let's pay our presenters more money. I'm glad Gary Lineker's gone. I don't know if he was worth that for presenting football.
Nah.
Do you think anyone's worth that for presenting football? Is football that big? How can football be that big over everything else for a presenter to be paid such an enormous salary?
Well, football generates money, doesn't it? It generates finance. You know, the men, they go to the matches, they buy the season tickets, they get sponsors, so the money comes in. So it draws to the channel in terms of sports. It's one of the biggest sports.
Does the BBC show Premiership football games?
They show games. I think the FA Cup games, and there's certain games that they have the right to. So they obviously buy into that, and obviously the sponsors that go with it. So it generates the money. As long as it generates the money, I don't really care.
So does probably EastEnders, but they don't get paid as much as Gary
We're not
Lineker.
talking about EastEnders. We're talking about football, mate.
Exactly. We're talking about what's important to the world, which is
Football-
paying these
Football
presenters
generates
huge
money right
salary.
across the whole globe.
Come on.
EastEnders
Ladies,
is
do you
just
believe Gary
numbers.
Lineker should have been paying millions
I
for
don't
his
think
role
he
in
should be paid that
presenting
amount,
football?
but you know what I mean? He must be getting some kind of some backhand business going on there. I don't know.
Nah. My stance would be, I feel like writing a letter to the BBC. This is the reasons why I'm not paying my licence. Until you can give me a refund back on some of those presenters that were paid for the charges that they did. That's what people should do. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And every year that you're paying these presenters that are doing some shifty things and they're still like, oh, they said sorry, we've sacked them. Well, that doesn't account for my money. So, no, I'm holding them to task. I'm not paying. And that's it. That's that. Anyway, HPQ rant show is over for today. That's all I've done today is rant about all sorts of things. Yeah, the cost of living, there's stuff going on, man, that I don't agree with. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Nothing wrong with a bit of rant here and there, is there?
Yeah. Well, tomorrow I'll be back with some news and I'll be back with some fun news as well and some interesting stuff and some bits that we can discuss further. Don't forget, we're going to be talking about what are the words that we used back in the day that are not used now. What our kids wouldn't understand when we meant by chirps or sticks. So save them all up for tomorrow, people. Share the stream, share the love, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye,
Find
everyone.
out. Okie dokie, and you have a wonderful day and see you shortly.